Welcome back. This is This Week in Agriculture. I'm still joined by Renee. Let's look at another topic here. It is not business as usual in Jukini village in Kirinyaga County, where residents are living in fear following an influx of monkeys which have been terrorizing them day and night. Residents claim the monkeys come from the nearby Njukini forest and they have been terrorizing them for the longest time. Despite numerous reports to the Kenya Forest Services officers who are manning the forest, according to Gatimu Muriuki, the farmers in the area have stopped farming due to the invasions of the monkeys, which have been destroying their crops.
Kuna shida nyingi sana ni kwa sababu ya kuvamiwa na hawa wanyama ambao ni nyani. Wamekuwa ni kero zaidi ni kwa sababu hatuwezi tukapanda mimea kama ni mahindi ikipandwa wanatembea na laini waking'oa zile mahindi hata kabla hazinjamea. Tena kule ambako zimeacha kukimea sinakuja siking'oa ile mimea sinakula kile kitu kiko pale ndani. Na kwa hivyo hatuwezi tukavuna kitu chochote mahali hapa. Kwa hivyo tumepitia shida kubwa sana na ni ombi yetu kwa serikali iweze kutusaidia vile tunaweza kuishi mahali hapa.
Kwa hivyo watu wameenda hasara kubwa sana. Na ndio unaona mpaka sasa imekuwa wakati ati asubuhi mzazi amuke na mtoto wake apeleke shule, akipeleka shule masaa ya kutoka shule angojee tena aende mtoto wake. Sababu huyu mtoto hawezi pita hapa hivyo. Atapita nao wanyama wanaogopa na wanyama unasikia hata wataki kuona mtoto wa msichana.
Hawa nyani kama wanaogopa wanaume, lakini mwanamke wanakimbiza, watachapa, they can also be notorious. Kwa hivyo tungesema kama tungepata waya ya stima ambayo ingeenda round izunguke msitu wa Njukini ingekuwa vizuri.
Renee, what is your take on this?
Monkey business, wow. It's really unfortunate. I feel that the monkeys' territory has been encroached upon, and the farmers are trying to do the best. They're trying to grow produce to feed themselves, their communities, and Kenyans at large. So this is really a space where KWS needs to come in and safeguard both communities, the monkey community and the population itself, the Kenyans living in those areas. It definitely is a question of, do you relocate them, and if you do so, how do you do that in a way that is fair and just and protects this particular species? Mm-hmm. And also it's also asking, how else can we manage the situation? Because this is ancestral land. People have been growing and farming their produce here for a very long time. So uprooting these people from this area or vicinity that they live in Kirinyaga is, I think that's not even an option. So it's really a matter of how do you manage these amazing animals, these monkeys, and the responsibility does lie with KWS. It's unfortunate that they've gone silent on these people, because the people of Kirinyaga do need the government to take this seriously, because monkeys can actually cause diseases. They can go into your waterways and have baths in there, and then that's the water that you drink and have a bath with. So it's really time that something does happen to help these affected people, because they're really asking for help and the government needs to step up. Okay. That would be my message.
With the high rate of deforestation in the country, do you think there's a way they can tame the monkeys at the moment? Because as you've said it, maybe they're the ones who have encroached into their home. So, and you cannot put a fence where a monkey is. It will still go over the fence. I'm sure this problem is not just in Kirinyaga alone. It's in so many places across the country. Is there a way that we can coexist now with the monkeys? The way the farmers and the monkeys can coexist and find a balance?
I definitely feel that there's a way that human beings can coexist with animals. It's happened for centuries. I think definitely when you have deforestation taking place at large, that does affect the monkey community, and something does need to be done about that. What I would say is the government just needs to step up. There's only one solution to this, to be honest. And is there a role for citizens to take up in terms of planting more trees? Definitely. And I think ownership needs to be given to citizens in that way, knowing what to plant where. Because you can't go planting eucalyptus trees everywhere. It actually saps out all the water. So being very clear on what kind of tree should go in which area. So I would really pass the buck back to the ministry and say, let's you know, Tobacco do something about this in terms of our tree coverage. And then KWS, please protect the people of Kirinyaga. They're having a problem with these monkeys. Don't go silent in them. Actually do something. Let them see your presence and your active measures to make sure that public goods and services are delivered, because that's why they pay tax, you know.
I totally agree with you. We need to find a balance between living with wild animals, because we've encroached too much into their living quarters, and these are the consequences we have to live with. Now let's look at another topic of conversation. Environment Cabinet Secretary Keriako Tobacco has condemned political leaders in the country who are a stumbling block towards conservation efforts. Tobacco has also challenged the county commissioners across the 47 counties to implement the president directive to plant at least 5 million trees by 2022.
Site, you see, this is a disease. You know what will affect? The rotting. It will kill. Wao wanasema hii itakuwa 2 Very good. Now it is our pleasure to formally, officially open this.
Our constitution requires that Kenya maintains a minimum of 10% forest cover. At independence, our forest cover was 30%. Now, as we speak, our forest cover, national forest cover, is 7.2%. We are below the constitutional minimum. You can imagine the resources being spent, donations being made for political groupings. I wish a fraction of that money and resources and effort and energy was put into protecting and conserving our environment. Environment does not care about politics. Environment does not care which political formation you belong in. It does not care whether you are Tanga, Kieleweke, and I don't know, Inua Mama, Embrace, Wanjiko. That is not the concern.
That is one of the topics. It really correlates very well with the monkey story we're just having. Now the government is saying we need to plant more trees. Do you think it's too late now?
It's never too late to plant trees. Let's plant trees now, you and me. It's never too late. I just definitely think that you can't leave a ministry on its own. It's definitely a joint effort, and I think that's one thing that the CS Tobacco is trying to really push and get people to own. And so I would say the government just needs to take it a bit more seriously, because we need tree cover. That's how we have our water. It's something that's called our water tank. That's where our water is held in nature. And so it's something that we really definitely need. It's part of climate change adaptation mechanisms, where you grow certain plants and trees to make sure that we have cover. So I would say that it's something that the whole government should take seriously. And so I'd say support him. Don't leave him hanging, because it takes more than a village. It takes a whole community. It takes the whole nation. And so the ministries that he's calling out should really hold their part of the bargain and do their part.
Okay. As a country, do you think we've taken too long to do this? We would have done this a long time ago.
Definitely, I think we were a sleeping giant as far as this is concerned. We're well below the 10% coverage that we're supposed to have, and I think we can even aim for more. But you know, there's no time like the present, so let's take the opportunities we have now and start growing these trees. And 10 years, 20, 30 years from now, we'll benefit from it, and also the next generation. It's never too late. I say let's just do it.
Okay. I've also seen Greenpeace has been very active when it comes to environmental conservation. Let's go back, because we are talking about planting trees. We have communities that are being kicked out of the Mau forest. What is your take, or what do you think? What is Greenpeace take on this?
You know, I'd say in two parts. One thing that we really push for is agroforestry, where you can actually grow your plants, your food stuff with trees, and it's really good for the environment. That's biodiversity at its best. At the same time, you will have some communities or individuals who don't know how to protect a forest. We can learn a lot from indigenous communities that live in these forest areas, and I think that is a skill and knowledge that the government should not lose. Let's not look down upon these communities. However, in areas where we can actually see that the communities are failing us as Kenyans in terms of our forest cover, we should hold them accountable, but doing so in a just way that really protects them and the environment. That would really be my call to action. However, it's also very important to understand that it's not the communities that are doing the biggest bulk of destruction. It's these timber companies who are logging illegally and who are logging legally, so to speak. And so I think it's also time to hold them accountable and not put so much pressure on these communities. You can educate them, they can be part of the solution. Let's try that.
Okay. Talking about planting trees, we cannot talk about planting trees and we don't talk about global warming and climate change. How has this affected also us as a country in terms of food production?
Well, Greenpeace Africa is really pushing for more awareness and consciousness around climate change. We're finding that more and more people around Kenya and across the world are awakened to it because they see that the rain's not coming when they should. The weather is very, very harsh and not very kind. The sun is hotter than usual. And so what we actually are calling people to do is be more aware and make better choices when it comes to the environment, because the solution bearer is not just the government, it's all of us who live in this ecosystem that we call the world. And so essentially there's more awareness that needs to be raised because people know there's something wrong, that there's something different with the weather, but they don't know what to call it. It is climate change. And the emergency is now. We're trying to make sure that by 2030, we hold the world at 1.5 degrees in terms of temperature. If we miss the mark, the world will be hotter than ever and we won't be able to go back. So there's a lot of knowledge that needs to be shared for collective responsibility.
Okay, Renee, we'll go back to another topic here. I think this will be our last one. Farmers in arid and semi-arid regions of Kenya have started taking insurance in a bid to safeguard their investment. Such is the case of some dairy farmers in Machakos County who have opted to insure their cattle due to adverse climatic conditions that are brought about by changing weather patterns.
Hostile climate conditions that are usually experienced in the ASAL region such as Machakos have pushed most of the farmers to insure their farm products so as not to incur losses. Elizabeth Mwende and Immaculate Ndenya are some of the renowned mixed farmers in Machakos County who practice large-scale poultry and dairy farming. The two farmers rear the Fresian cattle breed, which provide them with the manure for the farm as well as the milk that they sell at the farm gate.
Here we have 6 cattle. And to start with, we have Mwende. She's named after me. She's in calf, 5 months in calf, first calving. She's a Fresian. We're expecting our first production to be at 17 liters, given the history of the mother and the bull that was used to have her. This is the baby of the farm. Wake up, wake up. This is Sam, a month old. Papa is a girl, not a boy as the name sounds. She's 3 months to turning 18 months, so she's 15 months to be precise. She's supposed to be served after 3 months, first calving. This is Melody. Melody is mother to Sam. She's to be served in the next 1 month. She's the one who calved recently, currently doing an average of 20 to 25 liters. Yeah, they are pure Fresian cows. We've stuck to Fresian because it's a bit hardy and the milk production is high. We tried Ayrshire, but the production was a bit low, so we have stuck to Fresian.
Immaculate currently gets a total of 20 liters of milk from her dairy herd, which earns her about 1,000 Kenya shillings per day from milk sale alone.
Kila ng'ombe asubuhi lita 5, ile ingine lita 5. Hiyo ni lita 10 asubuhi na lita 10 jioni.
After insuring their livestock, The two farmers attest that they are now making profits while being sure of getting a replacement from any losses caused by either disease or hot climate conditions.
Another challenge that farmers face is death of their livestock. We have overcome that through insurance. Not many farmers are aware of the insurance products that are available for farmers. So our cows, all of them are insured from the time they are 3 months old. We insure them with CIC. And in case of any eventuality, they will always compensate us. We lost one last year when it was calving, and it was an easy process. Within 1 month, we had been compensated.
Hizo tags huwa unapatia ng'ombe zako majina, sababu tunaweka insurance. In case moja ikifa, tunalipwa na insurance. Ama tuseme unataka kuchukua loan kwa bank, unatumia hiyo ng'ombe na hiyo jina yake kama asset. Na unatumia ile form ya insurance vile umeilipia, ndio unapewa loan.
Renee, this is one of the topics we've just talked about, the changing weather. Even dairy farmers now are feeling the pinch, and they are feeling it's time to insure their animals against, or whatever they are doing, against adverse climatic changes. Do you think insurance is one of the solutions to helping farmers safeguard their investments?
Insurance being a solution for farmers to safeguard investments is a conversation that needs to be had more broadly. Because what this insurance facility does allow for is protection of monocropping, which is essentially where you have large tracts of maize, livestock, wheat. Honestly, I think it's a profiteering scheme. I'd say that because it's an incentive that started through the support of the World Bank. It's a public-private partnership between the government and private sector. And to be honest, it's not a solution. The solution is climate change adaptation, climate change mitigation. Adaptation is really a strong word that we should use specific to the farming sector, because this is where you help farmers mitigate the effects of climate change. To say that you should have insurance as opposed to having measures that are very attuned to the fact that every so odd years we're going to have drought. So why not set up a structure that supports farmers in this way? We have a food safety issue where we have aflatoxins in our maize, we have toxic garlic, we have meat that's injected with chemicals. Obviously, the solution is not insurance, the solution is the system. The system is broken. Insurance is symptomatic, and I think in as much as the government means well, that's not a long, sustainable solution. The solution is to get it right in terms of our food safety. The solution is to set up infrastructure and policy that is backed up by budget for implementation to make sure that we have food that is grown all year round. We're marshalling the huge agricultural potential we have in the country, and not trying to say, why don't you buy some insurance package here to protect your produce? It's not the solution.
And do you think farmers are really sensitized enough on some of the things they need to do to protect themselves against climate change? Do you think they are really sensitized enough, or people are looking for ways of taking advantage of them?
Farmers are not sensitized enough when it comes to climate change, and more so empowered as solution bearers, because the solution does lie within the work that we do. Our ancestors have grown, produce from time immemorial, and the solution does lie in terms of viable scientific evidence shows that ecological farming works and works well. Empower farmers so they can actually implement that. Having access to capacity building components, making sure agriculture extension officers are spread across counties to help farmers. These are some of the really sensible measures that the government can take. Insurance is not going to solve our food issues, our climate change issues. It's just a scheme to make money, to be honest. It's a scheme to make money, and it doesn't really have farmers and the people at its heart. It's just a very symptomatic solution, not long-term.
So do you think the problem is with the farmers, or the problem is with the government?
The problem is with the government, because what they're injecting into the system is a false narrative. The narrative that, climate change is real, get insurance. climate change is real, here's a solution is what they should be saying. And that conversation is not happening enough. We're actually putting farmers below and industrial corporations ahead. We're putting profit over people. And the more we do that, we'll have a situation where people are buying insurance, but it's not feeding the nation.
Oh, okay. Yes. Renee, I think that will be a good place to end for today. I'd like to say a very big thank you for you accepting our call.
Asante sana for having me.
We'll call you again.
Thank you.
That is it from Agri News today. I'm Philip Keitang. Until next time, goodbye.